Shalom, shalom, yashala, shalom. This is Bishop Teacher Sakuran from the Hebrew Israelite Great Millstone Camp in New York. All right, and as always, I like to start off by saying I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kodash, whom I worship, and double honors to my elder apostles of Great Millstone, who taught me this word in sincerity and in truth, and who rule well, and salutations be to the hopeful elect. Okay, they are out there on the highways, byways, hedges and gaps, teaching the elect, the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, all right, and prophesying the downfall of Esau's kingdom. All right, if you have not done so, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of recent videos that I put up. And this is going to be part 5 of the commentating on Bible commentaries, the Barnes notes, and we're going to be continuing with him, I guess, going through Daniel's the 2nd chapter in the 6th verse, and I'll be commentating on his commentaries. Okay, so as you know, we're living in interesting times. All right, the Lord is waking up, like as it said, waking up the mighty men. Right, telling the weak, let the weak say that they are strong. They're preparing for war. We're living during a time of war. Okay, and you still got niggas out there, and what I mean by that is of all the tribes, not realizing what time they live in. Well, they're gonna get caught up and eventually destroyed. They're gonna get that the MOTB. All right, they're gonna bow down to Esau's new world order, and they're gonna get the MOTB, and then they're gonna be destroyed. All right, because that's the prophecy. And then a third of the children of Israel, the Most High, God's chosen people, are gonna make it. Okay, that's the prophecy. So, what I'm gonna do is play a little bit of the ending of part 4, and then continue, here doing part 5. Okay, shalom. Devoted to the vilest abuses. No, that means they're gonna actually destroy it down to the foundation and burn it the hell up. That's exactly it. And subjected to all kinds of dishonor and defilement. The language here used is in accordance with what is commonly, it says, the language here used is in accordance with what is commonly employed by Orientals. They imprecate all sorts of indignities and abominations on the objects of their dislike, and it is not uncommon for them to smear over with filth that is the object of their contempt or abhorrence. No, all it means is it was an expression of saying that your house or houses and properties were going to be destroyed and leveled down and burnt up. Thus, when the Caliph Omar took Jerusalem at the head of the Saracen army, after ravaging the greater part of the city, he caused dung to be spread over the site of the sanctuary. And look, see, he's supposed to be a Muslim, doing some unclean shit. It says, in token of the abhorrence of all Muslims and of its being henceforth regarded as the refuge and offscour of all things. Professor Bush. The Greek renders this, and your houses shall be plundered. The Vulgate, and your houses shall be confiscated. But these renderings are entirely arbitrary. This may seem to be a harsh punishment which was threatened, and some may perhaps be disposed to say that it is improbable that a monarch would allow himself to use such intemperate language and to make use of so severe a threatening, especially when the magicians had as yet shown no inability to interpret the dream and had given no reasons to apprehend that they would be unable to do it. But we are to remember, one, the cruel and arbitrary character of the king, see the reference above. Two, the nature of an oriental despotism in which a monarch is accustomed to require all his commands to be obeyed and his wishes gratified promptly on pain of death. Three, the fact that his mind was greatly excited by the dream, and four, that he was certain that something portentous to his kingdom had been prefigured by the dream, and that this was a case in which all the force of threatening and all the prospect of splendid reward should be used, that they might be induced to tax their powers to the utmost and allay the tumults of his mind. Woo! All right, brothers. Okay, so that's it there. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue with him breaking down Daniel, chapter 2, verse 6. Okay, so this is Barnes notes Daniel's 2 and 6, right? It reads, "But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof." But if ye show the dream, if you show what the dream was, and the interpretation thereof, what it signifies, that is, they were so to state the dream that Nebuchadnezzar would recognize it, and they were to give such an explanation of it as would commend itself to his mind as the true one. On this last point, he would doubtless rely much on their supposed wisdom in performing this duty, but it would seem clear also that it was necessary that the interpretation should be seen to be a fair interpretation, or such as would be fairly implied in the dream. Thus, when Daniel made known their interpretation, he saw at once that it met all the features of the dream, and he admitted it to be correct. So also, when Daniel explained that the handwriting on the wall to Belshazzar, that was Nebuchadnezzar's grandson, if I'm correct. It says he admitted the justness of it and loaded him with honors. Daniel chapter 5 verse 29. So when Joseph explained the dreams of Pharaoh, he at once saw the appropriateness of the explanation and admitted it to be correct. Genesis chapter 41 verses 39 to 45. And so in the case above referred to, notes on Daniel 2 and 2 of Astyages respecting the dream of his daughter, Herod 1, whatever. It says he at once saw that the interpretation of the dreams proposed by the Magi according with the dreams, and took his measures accordingly. Ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor, intending to appeal to their highest hopes, to induce them, if possible, to disclose the meaning of the dream. He I guess that's supposed to be specifies no particular rewards, but makes the promise general. And the evident meaning is that in such a case, he would bestow what it became a monarch like him to give. That the usual rewards in such a case were such as were adapted to stimulate to the most vigorous exertions of their powers, may be seen from the honor which he conferred on Daniel when he made known the dream. Daniel chapter 2, verse 48. And from the rewards which Belshazzar conferred on Daniel for making known the interpretation of the writing on the wall, Daniel 5:29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. Compare Esther chapter 5 and 11, and Esther chapter 6, verse 7 and 9. Daniel's 2 and 7. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. Certainly not an unreasonable request. In any circumstances, and especially in theirs, they did not profess evidently to be able to recall a dream that was forgotten. Yeah, because their God, okay, their gods were fake. They were fake gods. Okay, and they did not, their gods made of wood and stone and precious whatever, materials, gold or silver, did not speak, okay, at all. They were dumb, what are known as dumb idols, idols that cannot speak, gods that cannot speak, gods that were not alive. See, Yahweh is a true and living power. Okay, he could speak to someone. Okay, he's alive. He's everywhere. All right, and he sees all things. He sees. He speaks. Right. He exists. Not like these fake gods of the nations. And that's the God, the only true God, right? Yahweh, that spoke with the prophet Daniel, which was a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, one of God's chosen people. All right. It says, but the extent of their profession on this subject appears to have been that they were able to explain what was commonly regarded as a prognostic of a future event. Yeah, prophecy. It's called prophecy. Daniel 2 and 8. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that you would gain the time, margin, by, meaning by time. The Chaldee word, Zabunyan, from Zabun, means to get for oneself, buy, gain, procure. Greek, exaggerosity, exaggerate, I guess. That's probably where the word exaggerate comes from. That ye redeem time, and so the Vulgate, quod tempus redimitus, the idea is that they saw that they could not comply with his requisition, and that they're asking him, Daniel 2 and 7, to state the dream was only a pretext for delay, in the hope that in the interval some device might be hit on by them to appease him, or to avert his threatened indignation. It would be natural to suppose that that they might hope that on reflection he would become more calm, and that although they might not be able to recall the dream and explain it, yet it would be seen to be unreasonable to expect or demand it. The king seems to have supposed that some such thoughts were passing through their minds, and he charges on them such a project. The argument of the king seems to have been something like this: they who can explain a dream correctly can as well tell what it is as what its interpretation is, for the one is as much the result of divine influence as the other. And if men can hope for divine help in the one case, why not in the other? As you cannot therefore recall the dream, it is plain that you cannot interpret it, and your only object in demanding to know it is that you may ward off as long as possible the execution of the threatened sentence, and if practicable, escape it altogether. It is not improbable that what they said was more than the simple request recorded in Daniel's 2 and 7. They would naturally enlarge on it by attempting to show how unreasonable was the demand of the king in the case, and their arguments would give a fair pretext for what he here charges on them. Because ye see, the thing is gone from me. According to the interpretation proposed in Daniel's 2 and 5, the dream, the meaning is, you see that I have forgotten it. I have made a positive statement on that point. There can be no hope, therefore, that it can be recalled, and it is clear that your only object must be to gain time. Nothing can be gained by delay, and the matter may therefore be determined at once, and your conduct be construed as a confession that you cannot perform what is required, and a sentence proceed without delay. This makes better sense, it seems to me, than to suppose that he means that a sentence had gone from him, that if they could not recall recall and interpret it, they should be put to death. That's exactly what it means. That he was going to put them to death because they couldn't break down the dream and bring it back, replay the dream to him. Okay, being that he forgot himself. Okay, only a living power, a living God could reveal that unto man, in which that's what happened. Yahweh revealed that to the prophet Daniel. Okay. Yeah, and pretty soon in these last days, the nations, they're gonna know that the true and living power, Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, is with us, man. It's with Great Millstone and our affiliates. Okay. All right, because He has revealed unto us His holy name. We stuck to it, and He also has revealed unto us His mysteries. Okay. Especially the mystery of, what the MOTB is, right? Daniel's 2 and 9, it says, but if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. But if ye would not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. That is, you shall share the same fate. You shall all be cut to pieces, including Daniel and the three brothers, right? And your houses reduced to ruin. Daniel's 2 and 5. There shall be no favor shown to any class of you, or to any individual among you. It seems to have been supposedly that the responsibility rested on them individually as well as collectively, and that it would be right to hold each and every one of them bound to explain the matter. As no difference of obligation was recognized, there would be no difference of criminality. It should be said, however, that there is a difference of interpretation here. Jusinius and some others render the word translated decree, uh, doth, counsel, plan, purpose, and suppose that it means this only is your counsel or plan. That is, to prepare line words and to gain time. So Professor Stewart renders the verse, if you will not make known to me the dream, one thing is your purpose, both a false and deceitful word have ye agreed to utter before me, until the time shall have changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and then I shall know that you can show me the interpretation thereof. The original word, however, is most commonly used in the sense of law or decree, and he gives you a whole host of scriptures. And there seems to be no necessity for departing from the common translation. It contains a sense according to the truth in the case, and is in accordance with the Greek, Latin, and Syriac versions. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me. That is, you have done this in asking me to state the dream. Daniel 2 and 4, Daniel 2 and 7. And in the demand that the dream should be made known to you, in order that you may interpret it. I shall know by your inability to recall the dream that you have been acting a false and deceitful part, and that your pretensions were all false. Your wish, therefore, to have me state the dream will be shown to be a mere pretense, an artifice for delay, that you might put off the execution of the sentence with the hope of escaping altogether, till the time be changed, that is, until a new state of things shall occur, either until his purpose might change and his anger should subside, or until there should be a change of government. It was natural for such thoughts to pass through the mind of the king, since as matters could be no worse for them if the subject was delayed. There was a possibility that they might be better, for any change would be likely to be an advantage. There does not appear to have been any great confidence or affection on either side. The king suspected that they were influenced by bad motives, and they certainly had no strong reasons for attachment to him. Compare the notes at Daniel 2:21 and Daniel 7:25. All right, I'm gonna read this part, Daniel 2 and 10. I think we're gonna stop there on this part 5. Okay. It says, the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore, there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. The Chaldeans answered. The Chaldeans were the magicians or the wise men of Babylon. Okay, sort of like today's Illuminati, right? So-called illuminated ones. We are the illuminated ones, all right? The chosen elect of the Most High, the hopeful elect of the Most High, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, okay? Believing in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, perhaps the Chaldeans answered because they were the highest in favor, and were those in whom most confidence was usually reposed in such matters. See the notes at Daniel 2 and 2. On such an occasion, those would be likely to be put forward to announce their inability to do this, who would be supposed to be able to interpret the dream, if any could, and on whom most reliance was usually placed. Yeah, and they were not able to. They were the so-called Illuminati of their time, right? The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, perhaps the Chaldeans answered because they were, okay, I I already read that. There is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Well, how the hell did they know that? There was one, right? Daniel. Child Chaldee, um, Isle Basha, Bashatha, upon the dry ground. Compare Genesis 1 and 10. The meaning is that the thing was utterly beyond the power of man. It was what none who practiced the arts of divining laid claim to. They doubtlessly supposed that as great proficients in that art as the world could produce might be found among the wise men assembled at the court of Babylon. And if they failed, they inferred that all others would fail. This was therefore a decided confession of their inability in the matter, but they meant to break the force of that mortifying confession, and perhaps to appease the wrath of the king by affirming that the thing was wholly beyond the human powers, and that no one could be expected to do what was demanded. Therefore, there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such things. No one has ever made a similar demand. The matter is so clear, the incompetency of man to make such a disclosure is so manifest, that no potentate of any rank ever made such a request. They designed undoubtedly to convince the king that the request was so unreasonable that he would not insist on it. They were urgent, for their life depended on it, and they apprehended that they had justice on their side. So in part 6, we'll begin, and right here, Daniel 2 and 11, him breaking down Daniel 2 and 11. All right, so stay tuned for part 6. For part 6, Salak. Okay, Shalom.